creating a new movement of counter-rotating your trunk to help aid in the loading of your drive leg, A, and then B, also help aid in your trunk alignment and your trunk positioning as you come into your anchor point. So just to give some context, for me, segmentation is probably the most important thing about the delivery. Hip-shoulder separation, authentic separation is created through segmentation of lower body rotation initiation first, and then upper body rotation second. But coming down to anchor point, we want to make sure that our hips are into rotation roughly 45 and our trunk is neutral. Now we see a lot of guys that struggle with the segmentation piece of it, where their trunk kind of follows their hips and they move simultaneous before the point of anchor. Okay, so then what you have is a limited amount of stretch, and you have a limited amount of power output because you're not launching from that upmost stretch position. So in regards to maybe some things that you can play around with to help aid in the trunk alignment throughout into the anchor point is something of which, however you come set, I don't know, but something of which we can go peak leg lift and then separate hands as you descend, and as you descend into your full hand separation, think about this, your lead butt cheek being pointed. Okay, so that's that hip coil, your lead butt cheek being pointed while your lead shoulder points down. Or think about like taking your left nipple to your right hip if you're a righty, opposite if you're a lefty. So I'll even preset this and start at peak leg lift, and then now as I descend from peak leg lift, those series of moves are occurring. So it's going to look like this. And you can play around with the sensation going down into your drive phase. So I just like to be kind of up here just to get this. Boom, 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 go. All right, so then you can add another piece to it. Go. Go. All right, and then you can do a full dry wrap. There's also another move that can help with this whole type of dynamic that we're trying to create as far as loading up the rear hip. Corkscrewing, hip coiling, and taking your lead foot and shifting it closed, right? So leading with the heel, corkscrewing, coiling, boom. Now I'm locked into this position that we just talked about with the trunk counter-rotated, and now I feel the rear hip have tension, all right? Feel the butt is contracting, and now you can just go ahead and do, all right, I'm gonna do some throw variations from this point, okay? Everything's counter-rotated, coiled, all right? So now I'm gonna lead with the heel of my lead foot. I threw that exactly where I wanted to throw it, no kidding. Upper quadrant, right in the middle. So there's some things you can get right there. All right, I'm a big fan of preset variations just to get the feeling of where it starts, so then the body can be, or the brain could absorb that input and understand what you're trying to do. Hopefully that makes sense.